Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Mind. In our last episode, we explored the deeper side of female psychology, how emotions, memory, and desire shape the way women connect and love. But today's topic, this one goes even deeper, because today, we're talking about something every man has felt but few ever understand, the secret tests women use to measure your strength, stability, and worth. Yes, women test men. But not because they want to play games or manipulate. They do it because deep down, it's how they know who's real. It's how they separate a man who only talks confidence from a man who lives it. Let's go behind the mind. First, understand this: a woman's love is emotional, but her trust is logical. She can like your face, your charm, even your money, but if she can't trust your energy, she won't surrender emotionally. And that's where the tests come in. They're not punishment. They're protection. It's her subconscious asking, can this man handle my storms? Can he lead without controlling? Can I trust his energy when things get tough? Now let's break down the most powerful and subtle tests women give and how to recognize and pass each one without losing yourself. The first is the emotional distance test. One day, she's warm, affectionate, and expressive. The next day, she's cold, silent, maybe even dismissive. This confuses most men, and they start overthinking. What did I do wrong? Did I say something? But this reaction is exactly what she's observing. She wants to see if you'll lose your emotional balance when her energy shifts. Because in her world, moods change, that's normal. But what she wants is to know whether your mood changes because of hers. When you remain calm, unbothered, consistent, you send one silent message: my emotions are not controlled by yours. And in that moment, you pass the test. Because emotional stability is the most magnetic trait a man can have. Then comes the attention test. She might stop texting as much, delay replies, or suddenly act like she's not that interested. This isn't always rejection, often it's reflection. She's asking, will you panic when my attention drops? Will you start chasing desperately? The average guy starts sending longer texts, calling more, begging for reassurance. But the grounded man doesn't. He matches energy. He keeps his routine. He stays focused on his goals. And that calm, that composure, it flips the test entirely. Because when she sees you don't need her attention to feel valuable, she starts craving your attention even more. A woman respects the man who doesn't worship her. Not because he doesn't care, but because he has emotional discipline. Next, let's talk about the jealousy test. This one is ancient, and it's powerful. She might mention another guy, laugh at another man's joke, or bring up an ex. Not because she wants him, but because she wants to see if you trust yourself. If you react with insecurity, start questioning her, or act possessive, you fail the test. But if you stay calm, confident, even playful, you pass with flying colors. Because real confidence is quiet. It doesn't scream, it doesn't beg, and it definitely doesn't compete. A secure man knows that attention can shift, but attraction returns to stability, and she'll always come back to the energy that doesn't chase validation. Then there's the patience test. This is one of the toughest ones. Sometimes, she delays affection, avoids deep talks, or seems inconsistent with effort. She's not doing this to frustrate you, she's watching your rhythm. She wants to know, can you maintain your masculine frame even when you're not getting what you want yet? Patience to a woman equals power. When you don't rush, when you give her space to feel comfortable, when you stay present without pressure, she feels safe. And safety is the first stage of deep attraction. Now, let's get deeper into the communication test. This is subtle. She might bring up something emotional, a small conflict, or even something from her past, just to see how you handle it. If you get defensive, dismissive, or tell her to relax, you fail instantly. But if you listen, stay calm, acknowledge how she feels without trying to fix her, she feels emotionally seen. You see, women don't always want a solution. They want understanding. They want to feel that you're emotionally intelligent enough to hold space for their feelings without judgment. When you do that, you pass a test that most men don't even know exists. Here's another, the loyalty test. You might not even notice it happening. She's watching how you behave around other women. How do you act when she's not there? Do you flirt behind her back, or do you maintain your respect and self-control? She's not just observing your words, she's reading your patterns. To her, loyalty isn't about what you say. It's about how you move when no one's watching. If she senses integrity, she gives loyalty back 10 times stronger. If she senses weakness, she emotionally detaches. Now let's go even deeper, the masculine energy test. This one's rare but real. A woman might push your boundaries, interrupt you, challenge your ideas, question your direction. Not to disrespect you, but to see if you'll stand firm in your truth. Because in her world, leadership without resistance isn't leadership, it's weakness. She needs to feel your boundaries, your self-respect, your decisiveness. When you fold easily, she loses trust. When you stay respectful but firm, she feels your strength. And that strength, it's not in your muscles or voice, it's in your energy. But here's where most men get it wrong. You don't pass these tests by trying to act tough or emotionless. That's not strength, that's insecurity in disguise. You pass when you're emotionally grounded. When you can express without begging. When you can care without clinging. When you can love without losing yourself. Women test not to find perfection, but authenticity. They're not searching for a man who never reacts, they're searching for one who reacts with control. Understand this, every test a woman gives is a reflection of what she values most. Emotional stability, self-respect, patience, presence, confidence, that's what she's drawn to. The man who masters these traits doesn't have to chase women. Because women naturally trust him, he becomes the calm in her chaos, the structure in her emotion, the peace in her storm. And that's what every woman secretly wants, not someone perfect, but someone unshakable. So next time she's distant, moody, or testing your patience, don't react with frustration. Smile, stay calm, breathe, because if you're grounded, you're already winning the game most men don't even know they're playing. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you earn her respect, her trust, and her devotion, not through force, but through energy. Thank you for watching Behind the Mind. If this episode helped you understand women on a deeper level, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because in the next episode, we're unlocking why women fall for emotionally unavailable men, and how you can use that psychology to build unbreakable attraction without manipulation. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and keep going behind the mind.